Hey you guys, my name is Natural. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you are here. If you are new here, please do me a favor, hit the like, subscribe button, hit the bell so you know whenever I post a video. Guys, I want to talk about flakiness, like millennials and Gen Z specifically. Why are we so flaky? And it's not even just millennial and Gen Z. Like, I literally also said in a video recently, we talked about this a little bit, but I want to include like the older generation too. I feel like the older generation is perpetuating this nonsense. And I honestly, like most stuff on this channel that we talk about all the time, this is probably just going to be a rant, but I feel like it all comes back to social media. I feel like I'm saying that all the time. It's because really, I truly can remember a time before social media, back when we had flip phones, and it was just not like this. We were not so flaky. It wasn't so dang on hard to do anything. It's just so hard now to do anything. To make plans, to get family aligned on when we're going to do this, where we're going to do this. It's so hard to have an event or to figure out where you're going to have a birthday party at, or where you're going to have a baby shower at, or when you're going to go to the museum. You've been talking to your friend about going to the museum for a year and a half, but it's so hard to figure that out. It's just, I feel like it's even bled over into professional spaces, like into professional areas. I don't know. I work in a very like fast turnaround work environment, and I've even seen just in the past even 5 years, but definitely in the past 10 years. I mean, 10 years ago, I literally was, just getting out of university, so it doesn't completely apply, but basically, in other words, I've seen a steady increase of just flakiness, even in my professional space, even in like the time that it takes to get out a project, the time that it takes to get a client to agree to something. Everybody is so dang on flaky. And I'm just wondering if it's not that everybody's just glued to their phones. I feel like even myself included in this, sometimes I feel like it's taking me twice or 3 times as long to do something because I get distracted. And honestly, it's not Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and Snapchat that's distracting me, even though I know a lot of people, that's the source of their distraction. You walk into the DMV, you walk into the mayor's office, you walk into a government space, you walk into all types of places, and people are on their phones. And I think in those places, they can't even be on applications and stuff. It blocks them. So who even knows what but they're on their phone. You go onto the bus, the train, there are people literally like limping who have atrophy, like an atrophied leg or atrophied arm, who are like literally like you can see the imprint of their rib cage, begging for food, begging for money. Nobody's lifting their head up from their phone. Like, you go to a place where you're supposed to get customer service and you can't even get customer service because it just seems like people's head is somewhere else, you know? And even if they're not literally glued into their phone, like their head is just somewhere else, even when they're not looking at their phone. It's almost like they're just thinking about what they just saw on their phone, or they're thinking about when they can look at their phone again. I know that's a little bit different from flakiness, but still, it's just like weird. When did we get so flaky? I feel like it's the phone. But let me just really emphasize this, because I'm talking mostly to Gen Z and millennials, but I also want to include our parents in that, you know, like elderly people. Elderly people. I know y'all remember a time when email was like the most forging technology. I know you know who I'm talking about. I know y'all know I'm talking to you. I don't know what it is, but people over 50 and 60, even people up into their 80s right now, are really glued to their phones. And I feel like it has some terrible, terrible implications for societies. Like our elders. Literally, like in the African American community, when we say our elders, we really mean our spiritual leaders. Like, this is grandma and grandpa. This is Medea. This is Big Daddy. This is Super Dad, Super Mom, Mother, Sister Esther from down the street. These are the people, the spiritual people of our community who are supposed to guide us. I know that in all backgrounds, races, ethnicities, cultures, these elder people exist. They're supposed to be here to help guide us young people. We need help. We need guidance, especially in this world. And I feel like many of them are just on Facebook. Like, I mean, it's like a kudos to the older generation for having like a social life. Like, I'm so glad that y'all got like, you know, your little friend club, friend group. Y'all meet at like, you know, the botanical garden every, you know, week. What, I don't even know. Whatever it is. I'm really glad that y'all got that. But it's like, I don't know if y'all missed it, but your kids and your grandkids and your nieces and your nephews and your mentees, like, we need y'all to be present. I guess that's the word that I'm truly looking for, is present. I just feel like right now we're not really present. How can we expect people to really come from a place of compassion and empathy if none of us are present? I was literally talking about this with a friend the other day. I was like, I just feel like people aren't present, you know? And she was like, I make a precedence when I am with friends, whether we're at a restaurant, wherever we are, to make eye contact and converse with them directly and speak with them and not be all in my phone the whole time. I was like, me too. I was like, I'm exactly the same. So if my closest friends are really making the effort to do that, why aren't other people really doing it? You know, like I'm not gonna say most, because a lot of people that I know are really stuck in that phone. I don't even know what it is. I mean, I've talked about on this channel before of it maybe being a generational thing, because my husband is Gen Z. I'm millennial, and he's a little bit younger than me, just 3 years, but he is in this phone, baby. He is in this phone. And I am a content creator, and I feel like I'm not on my phone as much as he is. And like, you know, sometimes I'll put a list of honeydews on our little marker board on the refrigerator, and I'll leave him, and I'll come back like 4 hours later, and he's still on the couch on the phone. And I'm like, what is happening? I don't know if it's a level of catastrophizing, because now we have a 24-hour news cycle. I feel like that right there is something that we have to talk about, is the fact that we have a 24-hour news cycle. Like, part of that, we don't need to have a 24-hour news cycle. We really don't. I mean, I feel like these major news networks, the corporate news networks, but also, I don't know, even just content creators, even people like me, you don't have to be putting out stuff all day, every day. I mean, me, I try to put out 1 video a day. Like, to me, that's a lot. But I'm not trying to compare myself to big news channels or anything. I'm not even a news channel, but still, you guys know what I mean, right? Like, the 24-hour news cycle, the 24-hour celebrity news cycle is exhausting, and I don't feel like it's necessary. I feel like it's got a lot of people distracted. It makes the news, the mainstream media news company and the mainstream gossip news companies really rich, but I feel like it's not necessary. Like, is it just me? That's basically what I think is contributing to the flakiness, is a 24-hour news cycle, people always being stuck on their phones, and I mean, maybe a lack of self-control. Like, you basically have to force yourself to have that self-control. This is, you know, it's like, no, you know, you just like put it down for a second. But guys, tell me what you think. Do you think that the phones are the result of that's why we have all this flakiness? Do you think that it is social media? Do you think that it's the 24-hour news cycle or the 24-hour gossip news cycle? I want to know what you guys think. Those are just some of my ideas, but let me know in the comments. And if you're new to this channel, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button, hit the bell. That way you know whenever I post a video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.